back to the Ferris Sports Update. Sitting down here with GLIAC Volleyball Coach of the Year, head coach of Ferris State Women's Volleyball, Tia Brandel-Wilhelm. Congratulations on another GLIAC Tournament championship.
Thank you, Harrison. Appreciate it.
That's 2 straight years of GLIAC regular season and tournament championships, 3 straight years of GLIAC tournament championships. That's got to mean a lot to your program.
Yeah, 3 straight conference championships is a big deal, definitely. It's just, I think every year is so different that you don't really go into the season expecting any of that or, even thinking about that. It's just about trying to take each moment and each day at a time and, just trying to progress through the season. And then all of a sudden, they give you this big trophy, and it's kind of cool. It's really neat for the kids, for sure.
So we get into the highlights from the GLIAC tournament this weekend. You guys got to host. How special is it to be able to play these postseason tournaments at home?
Oh, it's fantastic. We have such a great crowd. I mean, we just really have a great, community support from the other athletes, from the department. It's really, really great. And it was really a neat experience for the players on the team to be able to be in front of their fans again. We hadn't had a lot of home matches this year, so it was just a really neat experience to be there and to play for their friends and family.
This semifinal on Saturday against Saginaw Valley State in the midst of what was really a landmark day in Ferris State Athletics. 4 home events, 4 wins, 2 postseason wins for Ferris Athletics teams. A couple of just really huge ones. Talk about the kind of day that just the department as a whole had and your role in it here.
Our role is just so tiny. We just go and play our little game. I think the athletic department does such a nice job that they make each event feel big and special, and to be able to do that with back-to-back events is pretty amazing. I think our athletic director, Perk, and John Coles, who does the home game management, and Sarah Higley, they work so hard to make the experience for the student athletes and the fans and the community a really positive experience.
Taking on Saginaw Valley State here, this one went 4 sets, and when we were talking just before we got started, you guys have to grind it out against a lot of these teams, and you said after this match that you might not have totally found your rhythm yet, but certainly it's good to get a win when you guys are just grinding it out, and you've had to do that all season long.
Yeah, I mean, I think the nature of our team isn't that wins will ever come easy to us, so for us it's a matter of, and we've said all year long, like, one moment at a time, and that's all we think about. We don't ever look to the future, whether, we're not looking 2 points ahead, we're not looking to whether we're trying to win the match or not. We're just trying to win that little point and then move on to the next one. And we're still pretty youthful and still pretty inexperienced, so we're always working to try to, just keep that focus very short term and to move on to the next point, whether you win or lose one.
And you said youthful. You do have some experience off the bench in Jenna Way, but you're starting center, Stephanie Sikorsky as well. But other than that, it's really almost an entirely new cast of starters for you guys this year, and just talk about the way they've been able to perform and go off from this 24-match win streak.
I wouldn't even know that there was a streak, except you just said that. I mean, it doesn't ever feel like we're winning. It feels like we're, we got to get in the gym and get better every day. I think the experience of our 3 seniors, Stephanie Sikorsky, leading, she's been the quarterback of the team for 4 years, and she's really focused on being a great leader as a senior, knowing that the team around her was going to be less experienced, and she just did a fantastic job leading her team through the whole season, and at the same time still working to get better herself as a player. And then you look at Kaylee, she comes off the bench and serves and plays defense, and and she's really an emotional uplift for the team. And then you look at Jenna Way, who's she's our culture captain. She's just the leader of this team, and she's the person who comes off and serves and makes big plays and makes sure that the whole team is ready to go every single time that we get out there.
GLIAC tournament championship here against Ashland, the first set, 28-26 victory over them, and you faced set point twice, and going into extra points there, and they made it tough on you, certainly early at least, but just talk about the way your team is able to come back and fend them off and win that first set.
Like I said, it's just 1 point at a time. I don't think we think about the fact that it's set point for them. It's just, we're just trying to win this point 1 point at a time, and then we move on to the next one. And we have to grind out a lot of things, and so we're pretty used to that. It doesn't really faze the team much.
As the match went on, you guys hit a little bit better, hit 406 there in that 3rd set to take the GLIAC tournament championship. Certainly finishing more important than the way you started. How happy were you, at least in that third set, when you went back and looked at the numbers?
It just doesn't matter. We're just trying to score the point. We really don't. I know it doesn't sound like how we should be talking, but we're just really trying to focus 1 point at a time and do the best we can and move on to the next point.
We saw a lot of great defensive play here, and specifically just one that goes off the ceiling. Sikorsky has to track it backwards, and then one-handing it back over the net is Lauren Rominga.
Yeah.
Just great defensive play there. And defensively, how did you think you guys were in this match specifically?
You know, we did okay. I don't think it was our best defensive effort, but we did all right. And ideally, if we're really doing great defensively, we don't have to play the ball off the ceiling and one-hand it. But you know, that's what this team will do, is they'll just find ways to do the things that they have to do.
And I know you don't like to talk about individual performances and really everyone factoring into this one. Allison Capel, of course, with the big numbers, but
Yeah.
A lot of players really factored into this tournament championship
Oh,
win.
for sure. For every game all season long. I mean, and it's not always just the 6, 7, 8 kids you see out on the court either. I mean, we have players on our bench who are really strong players who've had significant playing time, and you know, they continue to work for the team, and oftentimes, you know, at the end of a match, the players will say, gosh, we wouldn't have won that except for you came in and made that one play, and you told me this during a game. You know, there's just that whole camaraderie of the whole team. So, you know, it's not just the players you see out there, for sure.
So you're able to come away with that GLIAC tournament championship, and getting ready to find out your fate here in the NCAA tournament, hoping maybe you guys can be back at home, but we'll find out a little bit later. And just, you know, how important is it to really work hard in this extra week that you guys have in preparation?
You know, I think at this point we want to make sure that we recover well. You know, it's a lot of work playing in the tournament, and we just want to make sure that we recover well, that our bodies are healthy, and then, you know, just keep trying to get a little bit better every day with, you know, with whatever areas that we can. We certainly still have lots of room for growth here, and you know, we'll just try to make a little bit of inroads in those areas, and just, you know, do the best we can as we get into the tournament.
Well, Coach, congratulations, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
That'll wrap up the Ferris Sports Update. Make sure you check out FerrisStateBulldogs.com for all the updates on Ferris State women's volleyball and much more. We'll talk to you next week.